G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing my tips for the first week of the finals, which is so close. Can't wait. Very, very excited. Let's have a bit of a look at last week. I got 8 out of 10 in quite an unusual round. There's not normally 10 games, but cyclones don't happen every day either. So yeah, average was 7, so I was happy to get above that. And 13th so far, so not too bad. Mako 0303 on top of the table, 157, and we've got Sidebangers who got 10 out of 10. It's a pretty decent score, snapping at the heels there. All right, some absolute cracking games coming up for the first week of finals. To start us off, we've got Adelaide up against Collingwood. This one will be at Adelaide Oval. The Crows, what did they do recently? They got the job done over North Melbourne. It was pretty close in the end, 13 points. They did just enough. And then, North had a crack late. The Pies have lost 5 of their last 7 going into this game, and they just, at the 11th hour, got the job done over Melbourne in what was a pretty close game at the MCG. History would suggest the Pies are a pretty good chance here. They had 70-plus inside 50s recently against the Crows, and Adelaide were able to hold up in the wet conditions. Adelaide been on top for quite some time. They've had some brilliant form in the back half of the season, and been very, very tough to sort of curtail throughout the season. I'm going to have to lean towards Adelaide being at their home ground, and no doubt Collingwood will hold no fears at all going into this game with their interstate record and their record in general against Adelaide. But it feels like it's Adelaide's time to shine a little bit. Collingwood have been a bit wobbly and just haven't quite had their best team together, had issues personnel-wise with getting regular continuity with their best team. I think it'll be super close in terms of the final result, but I'll go Adelaide by 7 points. No doubt, I expect Collingwood to give it a really good go, and I think, they'll trouble Adelaide throughout most of the night. It's going to come down to a moment here and there. Those are my thoughts, but if Adelaide aren't prepared for an ambush, then they're going to take the long way around, potentially trying to get into the big dance. But all starts here. I think the Crows will get the job done, but it won't be without an absolute dog of a fight with the Pies. All right, now we look to Friday night, where I'll be at the MCG, and we've got Geelong up against the Brisbane Lions. Geelong, they've been in some really good form. Their last game of the season, cruisy win over the Tigers, 39 points, after it was probably about 70 or 80 in the second term. Brisbane, they got the job done over Hawthorn in a game sort of late in the season. Pretty close, although the Lions had a lot of scoring shots and were 0 goals, 8 behinds early in the piece. Geelong have lost the last 3 at Brisbane. The last win against Brisbane was 2024, early in the season at the Gabba, and it was a pretty wet and crazy game. So, Brisbane weren't able to take their uncontested mark game, so Geelong probably hoping for an absolute heap of rain to, not allow the Lions that control game that they like, and lowering of the eyes that perhaps presents some challenges for the Cats. Back half ball movement is probably going to be a big concern for Geelong going into this game, and potentially they've addressed it a little bit in the second half of the season, although it's been tricky to tell given the opposition that have played. A good win over the Swans, so that definitely helps. Brisbane, they know how to turn it on this time of year, finished top 4, so they're in really good stead there. So, they're going to present a real challenge. Their away record, Brisbane's been phenomenal this season. They just haven't been able to win at home. So, it's really interesting. And we know the preliminary final last year, it was Brisbane by 10 points after Reece Stanley missed late. But it was one of the all-time classic games. If you're a neutral fan, probably not. If you're a Geelong fan, it still gives you nightmares, that one. Look, I'm going to lean towards Geelong on this occasion. I think if you were to play it 10 times over, and this is a second in 2 years and probably 3 and 4 years they've played, Brisbane and Geelong, I think 1-1 really out of that. And 2020 prelim, Geelong got the job done. Trying to think of any other finals if Geelong defeated Brisbane, but in recent times, 2020 and 2022, where arguably Geelong probably in their best form of their lives, making grand finals and winning one, losing one. So it's like 2-1 in terms of the finals in recent times. And if you play the game 10 times, Brisbane aren't going to win all 10 times. Neither are Geelong. So I think they get the job done here. Hopefully they're strong enough to find a way. And it's surprising how much is in favour of Geelong. I get it's at the MCG, but I can't say Geelong have been in incredible form, but maybe they've been all right. I can be a harsh critic on the Cats sometimes. All right, and then we go to NG Stadium, and we've got Hawthorn travelling to visit the GWS Giants. The Giants, I'm just wanting to see what they've done 3 in a row. I think they've won 10 out of 12 or thereabouts, but their back half of the season is always really good. They somehow have an okay start to the year. They stumble through mid-year. They look absolute down and out, and then they always come good in the middle part of the season. Always, it's like a playbook. Hawthorn, they went down the lines, but definitely had a red-hot crack and almost found a way to get the job done. But Brisbane, out of pure brute force, were able to get the win. I think the Giants are 8-0 against the Hawks, or potentially at NG Stadium, they're 0-8, I'm pretty sure, from what I've been hearing. The Giants play some pretty good footy here. They'll have some key personnel to come back in. Buckley, probably not Hogan. Stringers of question mark. Daniels would be a big question mark as well. Don't know if they'll rush him back in, but they've got some really interesting decisions to make. We know the Hawks can challenge you right from the half-back line. Probably not so much inside the centre square. But, Jack Hunson's had a fine season up forward for the Hawks. So, can the Giants get their half-back ball movement? So it's really just going to be an absolute festivity of who can move it more smoothly from the back line, who can apply the most pressure for longest. I'm going to go the Giants in a pretty close one. I think all these are going to be pretty close, but Giants at home will get the job done. It feels kind of crazy that one of these two teams is not going to feature past the weekend. So, given the stature of these two teams, it's they both had pretty decent seasons, it has to be said. And it's quite bizarre. Hawthorn finished 8th, but whether Weddle comes back in will remains to be seen. But I think it'll be a real fine matchup. No doubt about that. All right, last game of the first week of the finals, we've got Fremantle, and they are hosting Gold Coast. This one will be at Optus Stadium in front of a massive fan base. Fremantle, again, probably feels like they should be top 4, but they've been disappointing at times. Had a great back half of the season. I think they've won 12 out of 14 or something to that effect, but they've won a lot in the back half of the year. We go over to the Gold Coast, and they had a couple of slip-ups leading up to their win over the Bombers, which was almost inevitable that they would get the chocolates, considering all the injuries that the Bombers have had at their disposal, unfortunately for Bombers and Bombers fans. Freo will be giving themselves a pretty good go here. They were very disappointing against the Lions, and if they bring that game style that's sustainable, that's quick ball movement, that's using that extra handball, run, link and chain, they'll be very hard to stop, especially up forward. They've got some absolute monsters up there, so I think they'll be pretty tough to stop, and we know they're pretty good inside the contest, and down back is pretty steady if it's not coming right at the front of the midfield. We know the challenges Gold Coast can present as well. They've been formidable in the middle with Anderson, Rao, and trying to think of their ruckman's name, can't think of it. Witsy. He's been quite a player this season. And again, they'll be relying pretty heavily on their half-back ball movement. Rioli probably back into the side. If he's not already, I'm pretty sure he was back, but definitely back, I'm sure. Going to be a real, sort of battle of wits there with which back line can get the most freedom and movement. The Dockers won't want to drop this one at home. The Dogs gave them a pretty good scare a couple of years ago. I think they were 41 points down, and then they came back. That was back in 2022. So yeah, they'll be wanting to get off to a good start. If the Suns get a good go at it early, they'll be right in sort of this game. I guess for most part. But I expect the Dockers to get the win, and I'll be tipping Fremantle to get the job done. So let's chuck those through and have a review. I haven't got anything too outlandish here. I've gone the favourites, which probably doesn't always happen. But I've gone Adelaide at home, Geelong at the MCG, GWS, and Fremantle to get the wins for their sides. Well, that is all from me, guys, for the first week of the finals. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments who you think's going to win over the weekend. If there's a smoky little upset that you've got in mind, let me know as well. Always curious to hear your thoughts on how the weekend looks, and yeah, who you guys reckon is going to get the job done. All right, that's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe away. You can see how I'm going throughout the final series and see how you're faring as well. Give the video a like, and yeah, subscribe if I haven't done already. Thanks heaps for sticking around, crew. Have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next video.